This is the Mid-Unit 5 Assessment Test Corrections video. Which estimate is closest to the actual value of 2.99548 and 1.8342? So I'm estimating. So this is very close to 3. And this is about 1 8/10. So I'm going to do 3 times 1 8/10. So 1 8/10 times 3 gives me 24. And then that's 5. So about 5.4. So my best answer would be choice B. Question number 2. For part of a science experiment, Andre adds 2,500 milliliters of dye to 12 3/10 milliliters of water. How many milliliters does the mixture contain? So I'm going to be putting this together. So I'm going to write my first add end here. And then I remember I have to line up my decimal points when I add. So I'm going to write it like that. And then I'm going to add a 0 just so everybody's lined up. When I add, I'm going to have a 5, bring my decimal point straight down, a 2, and a 1. So my best answer was choice C. For the next question, select all the expressions that are greater than 3. So I'm going to add them. So I've got 1 67/100 and 1 4/10. Bigger than 3. I have 2 97/100 and 4,000ths, not bigger than 3. 3 17,000ths, minus 500ths, borrow, not bigger than 3. 4 5/10, minus 1 47/100, add in a 0. Bigger than 3. 5 503,000ths, minus 2 52/100, borrow, not bigger than 3. So A and D. For the next question, 4 runners are training for long races. Noah ran 5 123,000 miles. Andre ran 6 3/400 miles. Jada ran 7 1/10 miles, and Diego ran 8 miles. What is the total distance of the 4 runners? So total means I'm going to add them all up. So I'm going to start with Noah, and then Andre, and then Jada, and then Diego. And I'm going to fill in with zeros, so everything's lined up nicely. 3, 6, 5, bring my decimal point straight down. Let's see. I know that 8 and 7 are 15, plus 5 is 20, plus 6 is 26. So they ran 26 miles, 26 563,000ths of a mile. How much farther did Jada run than Noah? So Jada ran 7 1/10, and Noah ran 5 123,000ths. So I'm going to subtract because it's farther. I have to put in my zeros, and then I have to go over here and borrow. This would be a 7 and a 7. Can't do this. I have to borrow again. And a 9 and a 1. 1977. Okay. Next page. One way to compute a 15% bill is to multiply it by 1500ths. Well, here's it. So I'm going to multiply those. When I multiply, I take my decimal points out. So 20, 12, 21. Put a 0 to hold that place open, and then I love multiplying by 1 because you just write the numbers down again. But you have to put that 0 to hold that place open. Then I'm going to add it up. Okay, and now I'm going to put my decimal points back in. So I had a decimal point here and a decimal point here, which gives me a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places in my product. 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places in my product. And I know because it's money, it's just going to be $6.36. My reasoning is my math. Next one, find the product. Once again, I'm going to take my decimal points out, and I love to multiply by 1, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. Because when I multiply by 1, I just write down my numbers. Then I'm going to put in a 0 to hold this place open here, and now I'm going to multiply. 6 times 3 is 18. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Add my digits. That's what I get. Now I'm going to put my decimal point back in. So it was here and then here, which is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add a 0, and then here if you want to add another 0. It doesn't matter, you don't have to have that one. So 0.02623. All right, next one. Find the difference, which means I'm subtracting. I have to add in all my zeros. So when I look at this, I've got to do a bunch of borrowing. So I think to myself, what's 1 less than 1,999? 8 from 10 leaves me with 2. 0 from 9 leaves me with 9. 6 from 9 leaves me with 6. 4 from 9 leaves me with 5. Decimal point comes straight down. It is 5,692 ten-thousandths. Two students have different ways to calculate 25 hundredths times 44 thousandths as a decimal. Show in detail how each person might compute the product. So, once again, Elena does it the way I do. So, Elena multiplies 25 by 44. I'm putting the 4 on the bottom because I only have to multiply once. So, 20, carry the 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. Put in a 0 right here. And then I'm just going to copy this number down because I'm multiplying by the same factor. Add it up. I get 1,100. Put my decimal points back in. So right here I had 2 places, 1, 2. And then here I have 3 places, 1, 2, 3. Starting at the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is either this or I can do this because these zeros don't count because they're to the right of the number behind the decimal point. All right, so that's the first answer. All right. The second one, I did it by multiplying 25 hundredths times 44 thousandths, and then I got 1,100 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 5 zeros. Okay? But this person says they did 1/4 times 44 over 1,000. So 44 times 1 is 44. 4 over 1,000 is 4,000. Divide both by 4, because that's the same as dividing by 1, and you get 11 over 1,000, which is what this is, 11 thousandths.